from Falcons. Let's see if he can get out of the way already. A7 bumping up their cash count. I think that they might have just actually tied with Vampire Esports. I believe they were 70k to 72. So now it's 72 apiece. So it really is neck and neck between both these teams.
There's the M1014 from Damar. Shotgun, close range. Mythic could come a cropper if he's not careful. But the nade, more focused on Yusuf right now. Spots him through the top window, but Yusuf repositions. That's right onto the stairwell. Not quite going to bobble down it, though. And Yusuf stays in the mix of it for now. But Revo has the off angle. A nade over the top. Gets a little bit of damage in. Spray attempting to find those shots. Mythic cuts his ankles out. Low HP now. Has to fall back. Maybe looking for a heal, the Molotov. But it's not going to slow Revo down. Hang on a minute. It might do just that. First aid kit being popped. And Damar can now answer into this fight. Alpha 7 in a tricky spot now. Revo pops that heal, but so does Yusuf. Mythic leads the charge. Breaks the door. Yusuf with the M1014 as well. Around the side. Needs to come up big. Around the ventilator. Looks for the shots. Looks for the spray, but can't find what he's looking for. Carrillo is down on the off angle, and Damar wants to find the ground floor push. Will be able to get this flush onto Carrillo. Bring Alpha 7 down to 3, but the rest of the team not so lucky. Yusuf down, but not out just yet, as the spray coming through still.
Quick flush over towards Yusuf. Never alone off the distance. Did actually go very low in that situation. M4 spray comes in. There's M4 of their own on Mythic, so he'll be able to lock down Never Alone. But A7, their smokes are so good, so critical at times when they're needed most. Revo, though, knows that there's a player in here. Korea will have fed back that information before he did fall in this match. It's the question of the medical equipment, though. You see, Revo's got absolutely nothing left. So this fight is getting real rough. And with Enigma Galaxy off at the distance, actually approaching, Freak spots Never Alone.
Ooh, Lord with the crossfire as well. Not quite able to hit the shots. Never Alone hit the deck first. Has that tree trunk as cover. And will look to get the heal off. I think he's laid out in the open, though. No smoke cover there for Freak. Maybe he's just not spotting it. Has to reload on the dinner plate.
It's unfortunate for Freak that we definitely saw him in those moments of what they did. That's Revo, in fact, with a DP of his own, coming in from the side swipe. Does not want to give up this first team elimination. Now just Damar left. They're looking to pick up that $5,000. You know, the 2K into the 5K, it's worth it in a match like this, even if you do go out early. So that's probably the main objective for Alpha 7. They'll take it. Mythic brings home the 5K.
7K now, as you say. No Nader limbs just yet, so no special limb prize for the first. Still potentially on the cards for Enigma Galaxy. Of course, Alpha 7 losing a player brings them into a 3 versus 4 off the back of an engagement. Revo needs to heal. Mafioso as well. Low HP. That'll have expended resources, and Enigma Galaxy could look to take this.
It's lucky they were able to get the finish on Damar, because now they start focusing on the next fight. And it's the Lord of Nades that sends him through the window, and another! Dear me, he's on target. The arc is good.
2 for 2. Lord wants to push up over the wall. Now Mafioso in the same situation as Damar. P90 and DP. That's bad for your health. Stepping up towards the window, but does fade away. Flush is coming through. Another nade from Lord. Is this one good as well? Is he dunking it down? Oh my God, Lord, 3 Nader limbs. Those are special.
That's the triple coming off the back of it. Lord finishes that fight in a firework display that no one anticipated at the beginning of this game, with the circle being so favorable to everyone. A 3-way fight there, and the fight is over in an instant as soon as Lord packs a punch into that one.
Not only that, Alpha 7 go down early. Vampire Esports, where you at?
This is now a real good opportunity for them. Start racking up those points. Yes, they might be just a little bit behind, but if they can find another chicken dinner, which no longer seems so unlikely to get a 4th in a row here, we might just be setting records here in the Afterparty Showdown.
Trying to get away, R8. Squeaking it through. Just about surviving there. All 4 of them are still trucking. The heals might need to come on in. Prestige doesn't want to bear the brunt of that explosion. Pops it up himself.
Down one Kia. Very leisurely team here on Livik. They don't like to make too much happen towards the beginning. They like to hold a compound, wait for the enemy to come to them. You know, it's very, very difficult. Seems like they get themselves like a little compound buff in a lot of these situations. Here's that nade. It's just so perfectly done. And Lord was just absolutely loving it in that time. And after he hit the second one, you know, he's got that adrenaline pumping through him. He's like, I'm going for the third, boys.
And he hits it. I think it was 3 for 3 on Lord's nades in that engagement. That is absolutely incredible. I mean, normally you throw maybe 3, you get a knock. You get 1 knock, right? But those were perfect. He read them like a book. He's not seeing numbers anymore.
No, absolutely not. I think Lord at this point needs to grab himself a couple of donuts because he was dunking them in those final moments. All right, though, still down towards that south side. Vampire Esports yet to move too much. But Enigma Galaxy coming off the back of that game, you know, some very, very decent stuff that they're able to achieve there. And it's going to give them most of the northwest side to themselves.
All right, with plenty of fans in our audience, of course, the home team. And they start young, but according to that picture-in-picture, nice stuff. Seeing those shots come through has got to be good. Seeing R8 survive even longer, all the better. Fortunately, one of their players is down right now. Shift.
Ooh, stalwart. Looking strong there. They are in a slight valley, though, so a little bit difficult. Kalaris will be glad to know that Crabgrass is slowly receding away from this game. Still just a little bit in at the moment.
So does take a knee. Rod on the warpath as well. Towards Hamodi, who isn't down just yet, but there's a real quick timer burning away, certainly in Freak's mind. Needs to pop that smoke, needs to reposition. Deadeye's guys are pretty close. Hamodi, I think Ralph's going for it in the vehicle, looking to pop that res. Drops out. Are they going to save him? I think he's on the res. Hopefully looking to try and stick that one and keep them all going for Enigma Galaxy.
All right, we'll finish out at least one player from down one Kia, giving them 1 point total. Just underneath Enigma Galaxy at the top with 4 eliminations, the teams that still are in the game. Alpha 7 obviously leaving this match with 3 elims, which will give them the 3-pointer. Now it's time for Vampire Esports to start making their way up the ladder. Obviously, they won't know that Alpha 7's out of the game as of yet, and I imagine they're going to continue to play this one out very, very slowly. I think they've done it most games, waiting to strike towards the end from the shadows.
Ooh. Not quite landing the spray onto R8 there. Although R8 are suffering, Sung has gone down in this engagement already. At the start of this game, Blank, the point difference between Vampire Esports and Alpha 7, 13. That will have stretched out to 16 with the 3 limbs that Alpha 7 have earned themselves so far. But from this point on, it's all gravy for Vampire Esports.
7C coming in from the East Port. Oh my God, that's going to cause me problems till the end of time, I already know.
That's right.
Yeah, always trying to call it esports. I think that's fair. We're an esports tournament, so it's okay. All right. Just about to get all their players back up on their feet, but they are taking damage. The blue so close to them and trying to get across this open ground is going to be hard. Scout spots all of Ra jumping out of the vehicle. This could be a really good moment for him, but it looks like there's more eyes on this fight than just him.
Scout doesn't have time to stand and deliver on the spray there. The blue zone pushing them in. 7C very, very close by. A nice cheeky little bobble nade, not quite making the distance there. Scout's still out in the blue. It's not ticking too hard, and Spray God's up the top to try and put some suppression onto Ra's position. You can see one of them already down. Can Scout get out of this position?
It'll be tough from underneath the bridge. Has to invest himself. Quick first aid, but Spray God is good on the nade. Looking for another one.
Scout gets across behind that smoke. Sarang drops down all the way to the wall there. Desha low, and maybe looking to try and finish this one off. A nade from Spray God, maybe looking to pop itself into that smoke. Spots Murnir, but has the shotgun out first. Needs to swap, and it's not quite quick enough. Kaito has a nade cooking, potentially popping it right out that door, right onto Sarang, but another nade turned over the top. Murnir takes a knee. Beautiful nades coming through. It looks like all of these teams are trying to rack up these special limbs, and Sarang finds the final frag. Rad full and 4 alive for 7C. Another engagement.
Finish them off quick. Yeah, oh my lord.
It's already all over for that side of the engagement. Enigma Galaxy, Deadeye's guys, right at it on the northern side here, just south of Cronus, on that Crossroads compound. 2 players alive for Enigma Galaxy, 3 for Deadeye's guys, but Hamodi trying to channel Lord, try to pobble it around the side. Can it get the damage? Not quite. Turulov stays alive.
Lord did start this fight out pretty strong with a couple of nades of his own. There's another. Everyone's taking an absolute leaf out of the book that Lord wrote on the bandolier of grenades here.
Not too sure how 7C went down there, but they do go down nonetheless. 2 auto shotguns around the side. Only Turulov as he hops around the side, but Hamodi's on the swivel. The drop shot's good. And Deadeye's guys eliminated. Enigma Galaxy take the dub.
Down 1 Kia. Lose a couple of players. This is the beginning of the fight. It is so hectic. The M1014, everyone's loving using this weapon in the game. It sounds so good. It feels so satisfying. Why wouldn't you use it? Now, Vampire Esports need to start making their way into the circle. Obviously, Stalwart, a very, very good team, will be in their way. BTR, unfortunately, will take the worst end of things, though.
RA on the back right of Vampire Esports' route of ingress. Nades flying, not really too much found. This could be good if it's on the money. Absolutely perfect onto ID77. And that's going to slow R8 down, but S2G going at it with Stalwart right now. It's going every which way, but S2G bearing massive amounts of damage right now. Can't quite find what they're looking for, and they might just go out here. Eliminated Stalwart, only Scry falls down. That's going to be a real quick revive, but down 1 Kia don't want to give them that space.
Huge amount of casualties there for S2G in a very short amount of time, and top action Pika don't take any kind of damage in that fight. Scry was the only one standing in front of the team like a meat shield, but with this circle centering right up towards the middle, everybody has to push in. So it's anybody's game, but Vampire Esports still in this one. 4 teams alive, still remaining, and 12 in the lobby.
Vampire Esports have the freedom of already being outside. They have this high ground position over these 2 compounds. I feel it's looking quite good. Could it be the back-to-back, back-to-back?
We'll have to wait and see, John. It will be one hell of a moment if they're able to make it happen. Enigma Galaxy, you can see them off in the distance just with their 2. Them off here, extremely close to Stalwart, but there are shots been taken down towards Pika. Smoke trains sent out. But now they've got to go against the Korean shotgun meta, which seems to have been adapted by...
Ooh. Choo-choo chews them up on the crossing. Down 1 Kia shuts down Stalwart Esports to start things off, but they have got the numbers advantage. They leverage it, and they turn things around. Enigma Galaxy had the off angle with 2, but in the meantime, Vampire Esports swarm the hill.
Looking to close it out for Enigma Galaxy. With 2 players still on a split here, looking down towards Stalwart. There's nades coming through. Pika's taken down. Ralph's looking to finish off top. This is looking so good for Vampire Esports now.
Just Scry pushing out for Stalwart, up towards the Vampire Esports position. Hamodi finds the sidelines. Ravenclaw, a pivotal player for Vampire Esports on those off angles, is curtailed. 3 players on the hillside, and they have to move towards Enigma Galaxy.
They have the information, but like you say, the northwest shift up towards Enigma Galaxy, anything can still happen, but they're really lacking of cover, and should they need to move in just a little bit further, it might be tough, but still, Stalwart with 2 players, getting one back up on their feet, another nade gets sent through. I think that's through the window, John.
Oh, is it gonna go? Not quite. Not quite getting the damage. Stalwart back up to 2 players, alive and kicking. Fragging as well, if they can help it. Action. Around the side, Scry still alive as well. The nade potentially there, but Ralph wants to slow down Stalwart's push as well. Close, right up and in their grill. Ralph wants to pop that nade. Hamodi wants to take the fight with Vampire Esports. Scry spotted by Schweppes. Vampire Esports sweep down towards Stalwart. Ralph now on the rock. They'll see this position, and Enigma Galaxy are split up. Hamodi takes the shots over the top of the hill, but 3 players strong for Vampire Esports. They swing it out wide. Ralph tries to pop the nade in, and not quite finding the knocks, not quite getting it done. There's one from Hamodi. Looks to shut down the push from Vampire Esports. Around the side of the rock, M1014 in hand, but a sliver of HP to play with. Stops, pushes around the side. There's the spray, and it is back-to-back, 4 in a row. The Vampires dominating here.
Dracula riding strong, but we've got to change that right around because it is back-to-back. Call this team Alucard. They are not stopping here. 18 points already. An unreal performance from Vampire Esports. How do you stop them?
Nosferatu, Vlad the Impaler, Dracula, Alucard, as you said, and now Vampire Esports. These guys draining the points from this lobby.
I don't know what you do at this point. If you're Alpha 7, you are terrified of this team.
Absolutely beautiful stuff. And with that performance, Alpha 7 knocked off the top spot. Could it be the two-time, the back-to-back tournaments? The match standings brought to you by STC.
What is going on here? Vampire Esports are taking on the whole lobby and showing no remorse. 18 points for this team as they take the lead over Alpha 7 to get one step closer to locking down, as John Allen said, the back-to-back events.
I mean, even if they're not playing center circle here, they just have the 2-2 split. They just keep pushing, just leapfrogging the edge of the circle. And once they have access to that high ground position, we were pretty much saying in agreement, right, Kalaris, it's game over. It's GG. It's going to go the way of Vampire. And you just can't escape it. The only way they could have potentially not won that game is if, as you talked about it earlier, if the two other teams work together. But that just didn't happen there.
Yeah, sort of wild. You're in this kind of weird stalemate for Enigma Galaxy as well as Star Wars. Like, yeah, okay, we kind of want as many points as possible, but realistically speaking, there's not a whole hope for us to even win this game and get that extra 10K if we start eliminating one another. In those moments, I sometimes feel to myself in a lobby like that, the two teams on the south side, on the downhill, could try and displace the team on the north and work together almost, but of course it's extremely risky here given the scenario.
And you're seeing, though, Alpha 7, they're not on its top page. We said it, this is the prime opportunity for them to reach top 1, is to have a great day, which they've been doing so far, and Alpha 7 struggling to perform. And so far, Alpha 7 has not been present in these two games. This could be a complete change-up in the leaderboards.
Vampire Esports are just sucking this tournament dry of money. They are picking up every single piece, every coin on the ground, meticulous as ever. The question is, will someone ever stop this team? We're going to take a look at some highlights here as we just look at Vampire constantly dominating their opponents. I had a question, right? Day one of the main event performed well. Day two, they fell off. I looked at this as like day one, or day two, they performed really well. Will they fall off in day three? And without even like specifically preparing for any of these additional maps we have in this or additional battlegrounds, they just don't lose.
The problem for everyone else is they're on another level right now. They are on another level, and it's going to be difficult for any of the teams here to be able to catch up. Yes, Alpha 7 looked great before. Yes, they were putting up what was almost a career-defining performance here in kind of this tournament specifically, but right now they're being topped in every single way because Vampire is looking so strong.
Let's take a look at the match rewards, though, from this last one and see if they got any additional money. We can see your Alpha 7, even though they didn't too well. Yeah, they got themselves an extra 7K as Nippy Galaxy and Damn 1 Kia there on top of things. Let's take a look, though, at the other two. I mean, we got to see Vampire in there, I would assume, right? Only one.
Yeah, only one.
But 15K for that victory.
It makes sense, too, because of how many teams, like, they got a bunch of solos. I think they got Aura eliminated. They got also Enigma Galaxy. You got yourself other side of Star Wars. Like, that does explain, right? They get a position like that, you're going to get the most squad wipes.
And realistically, I mean, given the place that they were playing and slowly moving up with the way the circles were playing, there weren't really many teams around them. And now they're 1 point ahead with 88K on the board.
Okay, Alpha 7, they need to start, like, getting points in, like, right now. right now. Otherwise, they're going to be falling down into irrelevancy. I mean, this is still second place, and they're still great, but Vampire Esports, the thing is, they're just not going to slow down. They found a strategy, and it works on every battleground.
How have you overshadowed Alpha 7 here, given this tournament? We saw in the first moments of this tournament that they looked brilliant. We were watching Alpha 7 being like, oh my days, they look so good. Vampire Esports has turned into this massive bat and actually blotted out the sun above Alpha 7. They are taking away all of their shine based on what we've just seen in the back-to-back.
Yeah. And what I almost want to say is I want to see them play in PMGC after this, right? Like, they
absolutely
have the chops to play in PMWI. Like, PMGC, they could be a real contender for what could be a complete change-up in the international stage.
I'm sure Nova's sitting there like, all right, okay, fine. You're doing well in PMWI. You're talking about back-to-back here, but we're back-to-back PMGC champions. But for me, I'm just so happy to see like events like this really allowing teams to make such a big name for themselves. To do it once to win $500,000, that's already amazing. But to do the second part of the event like this and have 5 chicken dinners out of their last 6 matches, by the way, for you guys at home, that is almost unheard of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is like one of the biggest performances, like on a day-per-day basis in international play. I think we've never seen something remotely close to this before.
Yeah, you brought up an interesting point, of course, Jason, with that as well, because, yeah, if you've got your eyes on PMGC, even PEL going on right now, Nova was #1, LGD was also having a good day as well, as I was watching those games through the night. But, like, the fact that Vampire on this international stage across 2 weekends has just looked so spectacular. That's got to, have some little concerns here and there for some of the other teams. Yeah.
I think it's crazy, though, thinking back to Certani yesterday, saying they're just kind of relaxed, just doing whatever they want. They don't have necessarily set strategies that they're trying to accomplish in each match, just playing it out and having fun. And they can be this dominating. I think that should strike fear into every team out there in the world.
I think they really want those houses. they want the full. They want the full package. They want the full gaming house.
They want
right
more
now.
than full houses.
Exactly. They want a mansion right now. And the thing is a team that doesn't have pressure, right, can be sometimes a little bit more scary because without that pressure, they're just going to do what they do best. And so far, what they do best is they do every game almost with those rotations.
What
how
they do
take
best
the
is
fights.
winning.
Pretty much, yeah.
They're pretty good at winning. There you go.
Good point.
Well, you can see here about to load into our next map, and that will be over on Vikendi. We'll see if we have some nice zones going our way. But before we can get to that, got to give a shout out here to Spotify and Razer. And to be fair, I think Vampire Esports should be definitely thanking them because they're winning all the money the sponsors have been giving to the event. They're getting it all in their pockets, and they're already $500,000 richer and looking to potentially go up to plus $600,000 in 2 weeks. But ladies and gentlemen, it is time to head into Vikendi. Let's throw it on over to John on and Blank once again.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm so ready for this. I mean, what a hype game coming through from Vampire Esports. Excellent performance. This is the team that really shone for us last week. We're looking forward to more on the rest of the day. But Alpha 7, they are really good. We just haven't seen it in these first 2 games.
Absolutely, John. I couldn't agree with you more. I think Alpha 7 still have it in them. But Vampire Esports, we've praised them so much in the PMWI main tournament. Here in the Afterparty Showdown, looks like they haven't slowed down whatsoever. And honestly, after that last game, I was shaking. So I don't know how. Certani's like, yeah, we're relaxed, man. We're relaxed. The team's chill. It's absolutely fine. But I'm glad we're heading over towards cold Vikendi. Because I certainly need to freeze these nerves of mine because, goodness me, I don't think I could take another chicken dinner coming through from Vampire Esports, and neither can any of these other teams.
Certainly not. I mean, I think this is the first time we've seen 4 in a row on games. Will we see 5 in a row? Ooh, maybe.
That's the question. I think 4 in a row was done a while back. I think it was in one of the PMPL CIS regions. However, now we're heading into here. I mean, 5 would be an incredible landmark. And I don't think we've seen many times where, you finish a day with 2 chicken dinners and then you have that mental reset, right? You have that mental reset coming to the next day. And not often can you transfer momentum from the final game on the last day into the next day coming. So really well done. Schweppes now starting to catch up with Revo, who so far for Alpha 7 has been absolutely a linchpin for the team to actually be able to, make everything happen for them. He is very good.
Drops coming through for these teams. Coal mine down to Milner. Is everyone finding their spot? Potential for an Abbey conflict on the south side of proceedings, between, I believe, Damwon Kia and R8. Could be even going out towards Volnova on that drop.
Mavatra currently 7 Cs and Falcons going at it. Okay.
Vikendi Circle.
Vikendi Circle. However, Vampire Esports, once again, as well as Alpha 7, yesterday's, I think it was the first day, it's Vikendi, was extremely good for both these teams. And realistically, it can be again. This one's not so heavy on the coastal side, though, so there's not really all that opportunity to control the roads if it does start to shift downwards. But Cosmodrome currently controlled by Alpha 7 with Vampire Esports over towards Zabava. Now, I'm going to put it this way. I've said it before, but if you are not watching the 2022 PMWI Watch Together with us, you're missing out. You're missing out big style. So send your messages to your friends to get cracking. Open up the in-game esports center and watch together with us, because this is some historic moments being made right now in the Afterparty Showdown. And you could also win some PMWI special sets, but I don't know. I'm getting a 50-50 split right now. Those PMWI special sets do look insanely good, John. But right now, the esports competition also insanely good.
Well, you never know, but I tell you what, you can look good. Looking towards either, try to look good. Powerful shuts down this push with 1, with 2. Beautiful sprays coming through. Falcons with plenty of off angles. They tried to play this last round and didn't go so well in their engagement that they had. They went down pretty early, but this time around it's working out. Dunked over the top. Can hear the Turkish Charlotte next door go wild for Spray God. I'm going pretty wild for him too.
Aladdin looking up towards Never Alone at the moment. 2 players down for them. Yusuf also on bended knee. Taking a nap in the snow at the moment. Can't be too comfortable for him, but they have to wake him up sooner or later. They do manage to get 1 player up from 7 Seas. In the meantime, R8, they do take a knock. Let's see if Damwon Kia can secure themselves the first elimination of the map, but it's going back and forth, it seems.
Ooh, another nade right over the top from Spray God, getting that flush and that knock. 7C pushing on forwards. More eliminations, special eliminations coming through for 7C, earning that money. Can they put that final nail in the Falcons' coffin?
$4,000 accumulated just there, right then. And Spray God, who's been incredibly good for the Indian roster so far, moves around the side. DBS cuts him apart. Splinters left in the body.
Last player alive yet again, it's Damar against 7C. Spray God gets taken down with a swift little headshot from the AKM and forces back Aladdin as well. Low HP from a lot of these players, and Aladdin, the last player in a 1 versus 1. 7C will fall, and the Falcons will fly, staying alive with the first team elimination. $5,000 for the home team.
You'll take that one. Damar blows away the 7C team with that dazzling smile of his. They just couldn't handle the blinding lights. 7C's unfortunately washed away by the Falcons, and now we're heading back over to Damwon Kia, who are currently in this engagement with R8. A little bit of a struggle for them so far in Volnova. Very awkward terrain to play in with so much high ground available to you. You get on all tops of these rooftops. I've seen players do this before. It's good fun. You can see Forrest already in a cheeky position, but I think SK-Ton, he has a similar idea of where this player is hiding.
You need to be so careful, as you say. Players can be anywhere. And seemingly, for a lot of them, they can do anything. Trying to get out onto the roof side. R8 want those high ground positions as well. Forrest, nice spot SK-Ton on that little window there, right by the door. I think he knows. The nade in hand. Forrest trying to thread the needle. Not quite getting it in just yet.
I'm getting cuteness overload juxtaposed by the fight going on between Damwon Kia with the R8 fans. It's really, really nice to see the turnout here at the PMWI. Even moving over towards the Afterparty Showdown as well. So many people coming to support their teams. What a bobble, though. Bounces off several different objects. You know, the trigonometry was not good from Forrest there.
Not quite able to get those angles right. Prestige very close to Onba. As we get a little replay. SK-Ton getting knocked and a nade over the top. Fabian traded off, maybe? Not entirely sure what happened here for Damwon Kia. Yeah, okay, there's backup, and they did get that res. As we tune back in with the fight live, and Damwon Kia still trying to get something done. Unfortunately, R8 take that knock in response. Onba won out that DBS trade.
Yeah, felt bad for his teammate Fabian, who got a bunch of shells right to the back there. Sent him flying forwards, face planting. Stalwart spots out Rod, moving up.
A lot of teams still in that south side. Early doors, so the zone won't tick. And these maneuvers have to be made fast. The thing about Vikendi Blank is that there's quite a lot of buildings, right? There's quite a lot of closely packed compounds, so a lot of teams can exist fairly centrally in these circles. But what that also means is that rotations in these circles become all the more dangerous because you're always going to have those teams looking out your way. With less teams, maybe a little bit easier, but Vikendi, still very treacherous. A land shift on the circle means that we won't have any further Vikendi circles. I might have spoken too soon, though. If there's a hard north shift, okay, sure, but...
I think this would be classed as a Vikendi circle, honestly. Those coastal circles, kind of atypical to what you normally see on Vikendi, considering, you know, there is one team that has a great position, but it does feel like when you start to get these central spots where there's so many compounds still involved, so that's going to be very difficult to determine where the best spot to be is. Stalwart passing by the Vampires at the moment. No shots taken as of yet. And Carrillo, as well as Alpha 7, move down to a compound further towards the center. Vampire Esports still hedging their bets over towards that western side.
This play for late game has been really working out for the Vampires so far. We've seen them able to just fend off engagements, stay out of the mix, and then come in swinging late. Over these last 2 games today, it has proven to be highly, highly effective. And similarly, in last week's games, a little replay onto the crash from Rad. 1, 2, 3, and there's the 4th going down over towards Desha. Raze did take a tumble, but that's resable for S2G.
Yeah, S2G were having none of that crash from Ra, which I think has become one of their weak points in this tournament, which is just some crazy crashes. Every single player getting taken down in the first couple of moments, or at least a couple of knocks. It just makes the recovery so difficult. Enigma Galaxy down 1, and R8 still at it. Down towards the south side of Volnova. That's still a ways to go to get back into the circle here on Vikendi. Playing a completely different game at TDM at the moment.
The blue zone, zone 2, is manageable. Zone 3, it'll start to get inconvenient. Zone 4, you got to get out of there.
That is unbearable at that point in time, yeah. Hamodi, honestly, has had a really, really bloody good run here in the after-party showdown. A lot of eliminations, very skilled player. Came into the scene and made a good splash, but the sound of that will send him packing.
That's a real big splash right there. DBS. It's in the meta. It's going to be seen so much more. You can imagine, especially in this urban compound-based play here in Vikendi.
Enigma Galaxy decides to leave Damwon Kia as well as R8 to it. And that little 1 versus 1 match down here. Ralph already left. Heads up towards Podvosto, just underneath Mount Krejnik at the moment. The rest of the teams, Alpha 7, Dead Eyes guys, S2G, Stalwart, Vampires, BTR, they're all still within the circle, though. BTR just about making their way in from Trevno, so they're right on the edge side. Might be a little bit difficult to move through Cosmodrome, especially with A7 watching out for a lot of these things. And the depth of Cosmodrome as well provides a big problem, because you're stuck in there if you do have to end up crossing.
Vampires said they wanted a place to coal mine, and they take the Western Shore in coal mine.
That's pretty good.
That was pretty good. I'm happy with that. You can congratulate me later on the fantastic pun work going on. But the next circle just about to shift in. It's a coal mine shift towards the Vampires.
I did not know what's happening with Vampire Esports, but someone on that team, they have the DeLorean, dude. I'm telling you. They do have the DeLorean. Someone is heading over 5 minutes in the future, figuring out what's going on, and then coming straight back into it. But their placements, even in this circle here, there's still a massive opportunity for them to actually get back into the circle, even if it shifts over towards Yeez on fire!
Oh, no. R8 cut down as they try and leave Onba's sightlines. Fortunately for Onba, doesn't have any meds, and this is Zone 3, where we said it's going to get inconvenient. I don't think this guy gets out of this. It would be a miracle. With no stims, no meds, this guy's ticking. He's not going to make it to the crates. He's going to get knocked. Resable until Zone 4 hits.
Now all these teams trying to make their way over. You can see Vampire Esports sat comfortably within the tree line at the moment, peeking out maybe now and again, but this area, it really does make it difficult for a lot of these engagements long distance to happen just because of all these trees are creating the fair obstacle in the pathways of sightlines. Enigma Galaxy, though, this works in their favor, able to covertly make their way in to the circle itself. Lord, just looking out, they still have Freak as well off in the back.
Enigma Galaxy with 3, making their way in on the southeast side. There's S2G taking a little bit of an engagement there against the Vampire Esports team. First time they've seen action properly so far this game. Can they bear the brunt of it? At the moment, I don't think S2G are looking to crash.
No, this is the difficulty now with the compounds in this area, is that sure, you might be able to get some shots across, but really all you're looking to do is to get the claws into the vests, put holes in the helmets, and make it just that little bit easier when it comes to those late game engagements here on Vikendi, because it's very unlikely that you do get a supply drop with even more loot towards your position. To get those level 3s on board, you're kind of good with what you've got, and you have to stick around until someone crashes into you, and you have to win that engagement and then pick up their supplies after.
Alpha Stefan's still alive for now. I don't want to jinx them too much. But they have got 4 players still in this. They crossed from Cosmodrome. They were across that river now. They're by the roadside on the northeastern edge. The next zone just about to come in. Looks like Omba did manage to get back up 4 down 1 Kia. They are playing with 2. You could see them just passing Villa now.
Yeah, trying to zoom in towards the circle. It is very, very close to being the next. And see where he does head off to. Vampire Esports very central at the moment. And this supports the big hitters right now. S2G, Alpha 7, and Vampire Esports. Stalwart a little bit out of the way up towards that northern side. Will have to make their way down from Zabava and leave that heavy compound area, the city. I'm sure a lot of teams will be looking their way.
Biggitron with shots over towards Enigma Galaxy. Lord, the nade man, the bombardier of the squad. The push cut short just a little bit. Deadeye's guys, potential for a third party here. Freak might want to regroup. Genfos has the angle though, has the oversight, and there's more spray coming through from Luxy with the G36. Freak not quite able to get an answer just yet.
Still impressive that Enigma Galaxy were able to get up here. Saying hello to the Alpha 7 fans towards the top of the audience. Giving us a good wave there. Happy to see it. Supporting them through these tremulous times, to be honest with you. 147 points apiece, though, for Alpha 7. Omba not able to make it in with Ralph with the oversight, and that's down 1 Kia out.
Eliminated. 2 players were left, but they managed to pick that one up. Lord still in the sightlines of Genfos with that M16. Pops the 4X and lands what he's looking for. 2 players now for Enigma Galaxy as they need yet another res. They've had a tough time of it. On the southeastern side, they'll need to get a little bit closer to this circle.
Coal mine. Will be Deadeye's guys coming up from that area. Just trying to pull out the pickaxe and just dig away at any kind of movements they can make up towards the northern side. See if they can strike gold, but it's looking a little bit unlikely as they will have to pass over some treacherous terrain soon.
Over the lip, all 3 in a vehicle. Dangerous at the best of times, but when there's so many compounds occupied close by, Enigma Galaxy trying to get inside the building, get to cover. Freak takes a peppering. Might feel a little bit salty about that as Lord takes a tumble too.
Good timing to get out of that vehicle as well. I think they knew exactly what was coming their way. They couldn't have gone any further than that, and they're right down towards that southeast edge. Next circle coming very shortly our way. East side supports Alpha 7. West supports Vampire Esports, who currently have both Stalwart and Falcons on their back, but it's Stalwart, in fact, who gets the circle here. S2G still in, and now Vampire Esports might need to make a quick getaway here, but it will be between them and 2 4-man teams, and Falcons can always backstab from behind.
2 players for Falcons, Damar and Powerful, but they look to skirt around, potentially running straight into Stalwart if they make this move too early. Instead, they drop out of the vehicle. Vampire will know that there's players out this area now. With those vehicle noises coming through, they will have scouted this. You can see they are on the swivel for this direction. They're closer to the circle, and Falcons will need to move first.
Vampire Esports close to the ridge edge, though. Like you said, definitely will have heard Falcons, so can try and get rid of them. Luckily for the Falcons, though, luckily for Vampire Esports, sorry, with the Falcons so much out in the open, they might even get taken down by an enemy team. But with Vampire Esports being up the hill and Falcons even further, this is a case where they do have oversights on the retreat from Vampire Esports into the circle itself.
Damar looking for that opening. The circle pushing them now. Damar will have to leave. The nade's not really in range to get too much done. Vehicle is available. Looks like they might push for that. Alpha 7 taking the fight on the north side with Bigatron as well. This is across the way on the northeastern side of conflict. Things are going to start to pop off. Things are going to get a little bit spicy in these next couple of minutes.
Nade's been sent in by Falcons at the moment. Immediately, Vampire Esports, they reposition over to a spot where they may not know that they're here. Not where at least that first grenade did take a bit of damage. And Vampire Esports looking to just move now. Stalwart, though, in front of them, that will be the big obstacle.
If they can keep themselves covered from Alpha 7's angle, the Deadeyes guys can be handled at their back. Spray over towards Chari, who's staying alive behind a rock. Turulov has a brilliant lineup here if he can land this spray. Look at that position. Step up, get that spray. That's what you're looking for. But teams are starting to fall like flies. Enigma Galaxy going down to just one. Lord still alive. Vampire Esports getting punished from the top rope. And now
Finally.
Chari, last player alive. Vampire Esports still have 4 going if they can get those reses. But they need to push. They are out of the zone. And they do not have a lot to play with here. Lord may get a taste of his own medicine. Takes a little bit of the nade. And there's the DBS around the side. Swatch to the G36. But Lord's on the floor. Will put him down. And S2G stay alive.
S2G still going strong here. Stalwart now moving slightly out, down towards Vampire Esports' position. They still have 4 alive, though. That is the main thing. Falcons, they move up top side, so now they have eyes on down towards Stalwart instead. Alpha 7 looking to deal with them, but a nade flies backwards into their face. And it's Revo, though, with a good one.
Another one coming down from the top rope from Bigatron, though. Genfos needs to get res. They don't have a lot of time to do so. A beautiful nade from Revo will find 2 players from Bigatron. In comes the push. Alpha 7 looking to sweep here, challenge the Vampires, and Stalwart on the far side. Bigatron suffering. They cannot stand the might of Alpha 7. Brazil reigning on the north side.
Revo just went for the full squad wide with Carrillo getting the last elimination there. Revo, you cannot say he has not been a fantastic member. Top just underneath, though. This is dangerous for Vampire Esports.
How do they make that cross? Stone stays alive, stops as well. Getting sprayed down on the corner, stops falling. Schweppes getting sprayed down as well. Top wants this angle, wants this fight. Stops crawling in. There's Stone getting taken down on the off. 2 players for the Vampire Esports. Will this reign of terror be brought short by Stalwart on the south side? Ravenclaw still there, but Schweppes is burning. Stakes flying back and forth all the way and finding time and time again the hearts of the Vampires. Stone getting flushed. S2G want a part of this pie, but I don't think this is something that you want to be chowing down on. Stops, naded out on the backline as Top leads the charge. Coming in for Stalwart with the micro Uzi, and somehow the reses are coming through. Vampire Esports revive themselves. 2 players on the inside. Scry, action, Top, circling around now. 3 alive for Stalwart.
The fire comes in, the brunt of the sun trying to take down the Vampires, and S2G coming at a crucial moment. Carrillo finds way into this one, and then Ravenclaw will go down. The Molotovs are too strong. And now A7 looking to pick up the pieces.
At this crucial juncture, with it so close at the top, Alpha 7 stay alive. 4 players, they have the outside angle. Damar down the bottom might be able to pick off 1 or 2, but what can Stalwart do from inside this compound?
Stalwart looking to regain a little bit of composure here, but Revo has just not stopped this entire after-party showdown. He's looking to show the entire world what he's made of here on an international stage.
They know where Damar is, seemingly. You can see Revo scoping in on location. Stalwart back to 4. Pitched battle between 2 Titans.
Damar from Falcons surprisingly still in this game. One goes down, unfortunately, and that will be powerful out. And Falcons will leave just as quick as I mentioned them. Just one player still remaining now.
Revo on the roof. Pika spotted. Repositions. Stays alive. Scry not taking damage there as well. Discipline.
Revo is just so quick with it. And the circle moves away from them. So both teams in an engagement that does not really favor anyone. Nades are being held by the entirety of Alpha 7. Damar gets taken down from afar. Alpha 7 leaves no rock unturned.
We said this is a team that knew what they were doing. Alpha 7, a pretty poor start to the day. But they are turning up the heat here on Vikendi. Stalwart, though, not going to be easy to take down by any stretch of the imagination. Nades, utility, pouring on in towards the backline. Pika looks for the spray. Mafioso caught short. Pika opens up with one. Over towards Mafioso. Cuts him down out in the open. Carrillo steps out wide and is forced back by the sprays pouring on in from Stalwart.
Stalwart just need to hold strong at the moment, but the nades are just coming thick and fast from Alpha 7. Revo still holds on to this high ground position, John.
Brazil looking to try and push through here. Stay strong at the top. They didn't like being second fiddle. And this time around, they will have their retribution. Vampire having already fallen means that top spot will go the way of Alpha 7 no matter the outcome of this fight. But that chicken dinner is worth $10,000 with a nade over towards action. It brings them 3v3.
Evening things out, but Revo will have to leave this high ground, and Pika steps just shy of the Molotov. Will move back out again. That nade goes off the side, does a little bit of damage, but it's not quite enough. The smokes are absolutely everywhere. This kind of warfare is just blind shooting.
Ooh, Revo caught on the drop there. A beautiful spray from top around the side. Not going to get the flush. Not just yet. Mythic is there for the res if it's there. And Carrillo sprays through the window, but he can't make it work. Top needs to find more, but finally he's taken down. It's just Mythic. 1 versus 2 for Alpha 7 to take home the chicken dinner in this Vikendi match. But the spray from the back is just too much. It is Stalwart.
Unable to take home that 10K, but the points they put up there will see them very steady, looking at that 60K in first place. They are now fairly ahead of Vampire Esports. Again, even off the back of 4 wins in a row, Alpha 7 still make up the difference. And it's getting very, very difficult. 3 more matches to go now, John, for Vampire Esports to try and get a lead, but I don't know where they're going to find it.
It's going to be so close. Those 2 games with Alpha 7 not performing in the first 2 games of the day leave such a great question to be answered in these last games as we find these final moments. Vampire, again, in the conversation to be tournament champs.
Yeah, it is ridiculous at the moment. Winner chicken dinner coming through. 1,800 damage here on Vikendi. I mean, they were really putting in the work, John.
They absolutely were. What a performance from Stalwart Esports. They absolutely took that fight in their stride. Top on the inside of that building. What a way to close it out for them. Finding that last frag as well. Beautiful stuff. What coordination. But Alpha 7, they take that top spot back under their control.
عايز تترجم راب؟ تعالى لي. ملوك الصين دي انا ملخصها في سطور، بس مين يقرا؟ فاهم؟ كلام الشارع ده انا هرسه كل المجال حبايبي. بروز.
وانا كاكازوكو مصدع القي نظرة لو على الحلاوة عندي كاستر والاسم
عفرت يا عفرت، هتفضل معفرتها ولا ايه يا برو؟
انت مين يا هو ازاي ده دخل هنا يا جدعان؟
نكسر الدنيا الاول وبعدين نتكلم، نعيد من الاول.
لا 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 مش مسجل.
اخواتي
عشان فاهمين الصين، سبوتيفاي عمل لك بلاي ليست الاقوى راب مصري. اسمع ملوك الصين ببلاش.
Okay, welcome back, everyone, to PMWI, the Afterparty Showdown. As unfortunately, the Vampire Esports streak has been stopped. They've been put back in their coffins to rest, at least for one match. I'm just capping your host here. We got to break things down, gentlemen, as we have seen Stalwart Esports finally pick themselves up a win.
Yeah, it was good to see finally able to get himself a good finish there. Playing with the DBS, it was actually Scribe that did a lot in that finishing fight. So a little shimmy over there. But yeah, it was very interesting to see coming out from Stalwart at the end of the day. But the circle, they didn't move too much in the late game, right? And they just were making sure a lot of teams could not enter from the southern side, and then it was pretty much done and dusted.
Yeah, the game kind of came to them. Of course, they did have a lot of threats looming as the circles came their way, of course. Not last but not least, of course, Vampires was there to try and deal with them. But it wasn't enough. Stalwart showing why they can hold down locations. It got a little bit sketchy. I was kind of concerned that maybe Pika moved too early to that east, I guess, northern flank up against Alpha 7, because they're really coming back into the fight now here for this Vikendi. But it was enough as they shut them down.
Yeah, though we are seeing Alpha 7 actually get himself a few points, and we're seeing Vampire a little bit lower. So there's still that current fight for the first place between those two squads that is unfolding. But at the end of the day, a lot of the top teams that have already shown themselves consistently on top of this tournament are here once again. So there's some consistency.
Yeah, shown themselves. Very good.
Yeah, well, it was a very awkward fight and very funny fight, actually. I really enjoyed it between Vampire, STE, and then S2G, actually, potentially came to be the saviors of Vampire Esports. If we thought about it.
They mollied themselves.
Oh, we don't talk about that, Molly. I thought vampires were immune to fire. No, maybe not immune to fire.
No, they hate fire.
They hate fire.
They actually hate fire.
You know who also hates fire?
John Allen?
That's not where I was going with it.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure he hates fire as well.
Probably, yeah.
Take a
I
look
don't know
at
where you
our
were going. So I was like, oh, I'll revert back to an old meme.
What was your answer you were going with?
I didn't know where I was going with that. That's the problem. So I'm glad someone broke the silence.
I've saved you. Thank you. It's fine.
Yeah. If that's
Here
exactly.
it is.
There's the volley that we're talking about. Alpha
He's
7.
himself.
Keep in mind, Alpha 7 were 1 point behind Vampire Esports, and with them getting, was it the 11 eliminations, super important game for them to show up, considering that lead was slipping away. They already had a 30-point plus lead. Like going into day 2, even into day 3, they were still around that marker. So now they're like, all right, well, you put the ball in our court, Vampire Esports. Well, here, have the ball back.
I think especially the moment they saw the Vampire was eliminated, they knew this is our time to, like, get back into the league, create a little bit of a buffer for ourselves, because they didn't have a great start of the day. The 2 first games are a little bit invisible, so at least they are present a little bit more. But Vampire, there's still a chance they're going to come back swinging. So I think it's going to come down to the last game to see who between those 2 teams will be taking the trophy at the end.
No, definitely. I could only agree.
Okay, well, what about our match rewards? Let's see how much money the teams were able to secure, at least the rewards in particular for some of these teams. Because, again, that is what it's about, the money on the line. And 7C, all right. 7C. They get on the board here. Don't worry, we'll see some 7 in a little bit, but 7C getting some 4,000 bucks.
They got the first elimination and got the special elimination with good nades and stuff like that, but they did lose that engagement towards the end. Falcon just squeaking that one out, being able to survive it all with 2 alive, but of course it leaves you a little bit wounded towards the later stages. And Alpha 7 fighting back.
If they got the win there, that could have been like a 22k game right there for them. They would have been almost at the 100k margin, but you know what? Still getting himself 12k in this game alone. Like, yeah, Alpha 7, they're still here. They don't want to be overtaken by the other team. So, yeah, I mean, Alpha 7 are here to play. And as you already said many times, Jason, they came in prepared, and really the preparation they've made before the event is really paying off.
Yeah, it's such an awesome battle, though, between these 2 teams, like going head-to-head. I mean,
back and forth.
Obviously, it could have been like, all right, Alpha 7 just struggled. They get in their own heads, and their mentality is completely broken. But for them to bounce back and then pretty much just say to Vampire Esports, we're not going to go quietly here. We're going to still fight for the number 1 position. I think we're seeing probably one of, like, the sickest rivalries we could potentially have developed now in the rest of 2022.
Oh, yeah. Alpha 7's clearly proficient at Vikendi as well. If you think about them getting the win that they got, I think it was day 1 on Vikendi, correct?
Day 1. It was won by Vampire yesterday, actually.
Yeah, and then Vampire, and now Alpha 7 almost being able to eke out against Stalwart. But again, I've said a billion times on these desks over the last 2 weekends that Stalwart's an excellent team. So it's no kind of disrespect to them for losing out against Stalwart that were playing this compound and defending it for so long. So they were very warmed up early in this game about the angles that they need to defend, especially when Alpha 7 had kind of gone for that sweep around. And then they once again, okay, these were the angles that were potentially giving us a little bit of problems earlier in this game. These are the angles that were benefiting us in this game. So they approached it very nicely.
And you were talking about it during that game also. Like, they did leave 1 building of their compound open, and I think actually it was maybe not that bad of an idea, because that building there in particular is very easy to nade. If you want one team to crash there, you know exactly what 2 spots to nade in particular. So if that was the game plan, you know you can easily at least eliminate 2-3 players, which is what they did there versus Vampire.
And also, on reflection, to be like, was it the right thing to leave it open? If you do commit 1 to that, then you're a little bit too spread across that compound.
Start to get back,
So I'm kind of, I was questioning myself there, and I think that's probably the best play.
Okay. Well, when we look at overalls, which obviously is extremely important when it comes to points, but what about when it comes to money earned so far within this event? Alpha 7, I imagine, should be first. Actually, okay. Well, that was from, I guess, this match. No, that's completely wrong. So we'll just ignore that. We're not going to look at this anymore because it doesn't matter. But we did talk about how Alpha 7 approached that 100K mark. Vampire Esports were around 80 to 90K last time we checked in with them. So we're having some teams approach or already surpassed the amount of money you can win for just being first place alone.
Yeah, exactly. There's what, like 414K total, plus the Chicken Diddy's got like an extra 118K, 180K, should I say. So like, they might be able to actually get close to half of that money in particular coming their way, which is insane between 2 teams. So
I mean,
it
Vampire,
can happen.
They're close to $750,000 from 2 weeks alone.
I think that's one of the highest earnings in like one tournament alone in PUBG Mobile Esports. Like, they're catching up. I think the top winning out of PUBG Mobile Esports as a whole is Nova, was like 5 million total. Like, they're getting close to $1 million here with this event alone.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Crazy indeed. Okay, well, so looking obviously into our next match of the day, we do have Karakin coming up next. I'm curious if you guys have... Okay, no, we're actually going to go to the match rankings, reward rankings for this one. But look at this, only 1,000 difference between these 2 teams, our top 2 teams.
Jeez. I mean, we already saw, you were expected potentially Alpha 7 to break that 100K mark. I have a question for you, I suppose, then, Max. Did you expect maybe Vampire to do it? Because I didn't expect them to get to 100K, but it's very feasible now.
It is definitely like, how many matches do we have left now? Like 3 currently remaining. So, okay, even Avengers time, 3 are remaining. So, very doable for both teams to reach that one. Of course, you need to get some good games in these 3 last
Never mind
matches,
the standings money.
Exactly. Like, definitely, you're aiming for that one. And on top of it, you've got that battle for 60K for the first place. But that's clearly not the goal here. Here's to get as much money in these games. And so far, these 2 teams are dominating.
Well, S2G, I find it interesting. 60. Wow, it's taking a second to think, letting the room breathe.
That's fine.
There's no rush. We got
Max
5.5
judging
minutes.
you. I was fully on board with you.
Yeah.
I think one thing that stands out for me as well.
Bigatron?
No. I think one thing that stands out for me as well is the fact that Star Wars, this is their first win here, technically, when it comes to the Afterparty Showdown. So I expected this to come in a bit earlier, if I'm totally honest, given their credentials. But it's nice to have it on the board now. 41K, not bad at all.
Important for 7C. I believe they're bottom of the table when it comes to our overalls in points, but they're 9th place when it comes to money. And that just shows, again, it doesn't really matter necessarily about where you place in the matches. There's all of those rewards you can get within that match, which amounts to, well, technically 33,000 every single match. So great job by them to build a little bit of extra money. Again, it's not quite Colaris's day rate, but, we'll get there. But you know what they can do with that money? You know what they can do with that money, Colaris?
What can they do with that money,
They can
Joyce?
easily buy themselves a Sony Xperia 1.4, which is actually made a collaboration with professional esports players. You can actually see it here on our desk. We cut back to that. It's also the official smartphone partner here at PUBG Mobile Esports. So great to have them on board here, and great to have all the players as well showing what they can do on these devices. Here you go, right here. Oh. Remember, they have security tags on these. So
the phone is so good, the security is really tight. So I tried every single day. Yeah,
what you guys can't see is actually on the other side of the cameras, we do have 7 giant bodyguards staring us down.
It's 3 snipers.
And then we have a John Allen off to the side.
Yeah, and 7.
Yeah, but I mean, can't really. So it's like 7.
It won't stop us.
And then the bodyguards.
Yeah.
Just reach over. Just let.
Okay, so gentlemen, let's take a look at overalls when it comes to points then, right? We saw Vampire Esports were 1 point ahead of Alpha 7. Where do these teams currently stand now, though, after that last result? And it's a 12-point difference. It is still Vampire Esports in striking range to take that lead back.
But the fight back is definitely real for Alpha 7, and it's great to see, considering that I think that after we'd seen the beginning of today, we were all very much on the Vampire hype train. It's definitely true. Alpha 7, though, good fight back, and they've not looked bad when it comes to the next 3 maps that are coming up as well. So, yeah, the fight will definitely continue.
Yeah, exactly. The main issue is going to be for one of these 2 teams. If one performs and the other doesn't, that's when a real buffer is going to start to be created in these last 3 matches. And the question is, do you still have time to make up for that little bit of a deficit if you fall back? You don't have a lot of time, only 3 matches, as you said there, James. So it's down to the wire for these 2 teams.
That's right, Max.
S2G on 61K. Bigatron, I want to say this, and I know almost every single event I ever work with Bigatron at the event, I generally have always been saying they've been underwhelming. But I think it's the only reason I really say that is because I think back to 2 years ago, or a year and a half, 2 years ago, when they were the most dominating team in PUBG Mobile esports.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a rebuilding phase. I mean, there's obviously a lot of speculation around. They've had roster swaps constantly. I would love to see them, pop off yet again, potentially get into PMGC and restore the greatness that is the name BTR.
It's very difficult to stay at the top in any esport, never mind PUBG Mobile, where the competition is hyper competitive as a whole. Yeah. I mean, if you're at the top, one, you always have a target on your back, which Biggitron Red Aliens did have for a long, long, long time. And two, you need to keep innovating. And in a game that's slowly getting more and more and more figured out, of course, there's changes here and there and stuff like that. That then also becomes more difficult as the rest of the world catches up around you. So it's difficult to stay at the top.
And I think it's clear to say also when you're looking at BTR, right, they're already set for life when it comes to their past esports career, when it comes to their content creation.
Well, Luxy and Zuxy are set for life.
Exactly, they're set for life, right? But the fact that they're still present says to me, at least, that there's still something they wish to achieve. They want to be back to their glory days. So I don't think we're going to be seeing a...
I'd like to see it.
I think we'll see BTR back to their glory days eventually. It just takes time with these roster changes to get to that point.
I mean, they are the OGs of PUBG Mobile esports, if you think about it. Like them, Scout. Thing is, we have so many new players come into the scene that can compete against these old guards and surpass them when it comes to skill. It's fantastic to see them be able to stick around at the top level for so long, to be completely fair. But as we can see, we have 1 minute and 20 left until we do hop into Karrakin here. We're going to have to bring in new commentators. But before then, we remind you guys about MasterCard and Saudi Investment Bank, making sure this event is possible. If you guys haven't tuned in the last 6 weeks, well, where have you guys been? At least you tuned in now here for the best title of the event with PUBG Mobile. Also, if you guys at home, make sure to be taking screenshots of your favorite PMWI moments. And you can post them up with the hashtag PMWI Best Shot. And you guys can win a cool PUBG Mobile statue, though it is not John Allen, unfortunately. Also, we still have a survey going on for you guys to make sure to check out in chat, also through Tencent social medias, and let us know about what you like, dislike about the show. All the information is going to be there. So thank you guys so much in advance for filling that out. 40 seconds to go, though, as we do have Alpha 7 striking back at Vampire Esports now. The ball's in their court to see if they can take that lead back. But we got to throw it over to our commentators, which have been low-key fires so far in this event. 7 Worlds Gaming and Avenger.
We definitely have it. I mean, with Biggitron, they were talking about it. That's a team that has been, maybe they haven't been at the top, right? But they have been consistent for the past 3 years. And I think what Jason was hinting at is when they were really dominant back in Malaysia almost 3 years ago, that team was just winning. I was actually getting a chance earlier to talk about that with Zuxy, saying how long they've been doing this and how they still want to continue to do this. So, honestly, I think the team might be just, it might just not be their style with the current settings that we might have.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I really love, what we've been seeing, because we've been seeing them consistently at these events, right? And that's the most important thing, is that they're here and they're able to compete with the teams in the very top. Not winning as much as they used to, but let's see how they're going to fare against everyone else here. It is, as you see, and as you've been seeing on the leaderboard, it's extremely close in our middle pack. We have 2 teams that have been absolutely dominating the Afterparty Showdown so far, Alpha 7 and Vampire Esports. And we're going to jumping into the most action-packed map of them all, Karrakin, one of your favorite ones. And the question is, where do all the team drops?
And we have been seeing some crazy hot drops in here too, and we have been seeing some even crazier third parties with those teams going to Al Habar, and then they even end up going a little bit more to the south. But the things that you have to worry is that when you're having to rotate out of those urban areas, there's teams that are just going to be set up, especially with the rage lines that Karrakin is able to provide. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I think Vampire Esports actually ended up having a great performance in one of the Karrakins that we have played. And guess what? In regards to top players, no surprise there to see Revo and Carrillo, 32, 26 apiece, and now we're starting to see some of the Vampire Esports players coming in.
It's crazy that they've been able to maintain as much as they have, but that's also why they are still on top in terms of match rewards. They have been getting so many eliminations, and now another standoff with Falcon, and Rad Munir goes down to Powerful. Can they turn it around, or is Falcon's taking this one home early on? So many fights on Karrakin so far in the Afterparty Showdown.
Yeah, and even though we do have the battle there at the top for first place, keep in mind we are still going to have those match rewards that all of these teams are going to be trying to get. First elimination is going to be 2K. Who's going to be able to get it here between Rod and Team Falcons? Team Falcons, if I'm not mistaken, they have gotten some of those match rewards in the past. And they get it here as well. I know the crowd is going to love it. And here goes the push from Team Falcon Powerful. Able to spot a player there from Rod. He's going to be the push.
Oh. That was close. Really
that
nice
was very
drop.
close. a lot of damage too.
Trying to reload. Kaito's really low. Less than 30 HP currently. Awful. Reloading with a really good advantage on that corner. Can he push and make something happen here? DPS in hand from Munir though. Really good push from Powerful. Takes one down. Kaito really low. He has an idea where he is. He's going to push him.
There was a bit of a disconnection there from Team Rod. I think they were trying to bait him out, and ultimately they ended up losing those players. And guess what? It is going to actually be Deadeyes that ends up getting the first elimination. Team Falcon took a little bit too long, and now they're going to have to worry because Deadeyes is going to be making a push here towards them. This is what I was talking. The third parties in this map are just insane. And then while we're at it, 7Cs is also making their way up to Rule Love. And as I say, 7Cs being able to knock one of the players there from Falcons. Deadeyes, Sharice getting knocked. Can't use it, clutch it up. We have seen him being able to clutch it up before for his team. He's able to spot one of the players there from 7Cs. Backs them up a little bit.
Crazy to see that. Let's see Deadeye guys here. Oh, Sarang goes down. Yusuf also gone down, and that is Team Falcons out in 12th place. 7C actually managed to get that team elimination there. That's really good to see here. So.
And that's what Jason was talking about earlier. Even though the team is currently last in the standings, they are definitely not last when it comes to the prize pool. This team has been able to collect so much of those match rewards, which, I mean, it's great to see, but I am hoping that somehow they can pull it off and at least climb up the leaderboard a little bit. It's going to be impossible for them to get all the way to the top, but at least, you know, save some face. And by the way, for everybody watching, make sure you watch PMWI together in-game sports center with your friends to win PMWI special sets. And don't forget the PMWI packages are on sale for a limited time, and you can also win PMWI treasure crates if you play PUBG Mobile during PMWI.
Black Zone starts again here. Some of the teams might have to move out of it. Let's see what happens with this fight, though. Deadeyes, guys, at 7C has not expected his Turlov here with the Saiga comes out. Surprise! There's no helmet and only with one helmet, so level one vest, no helmet at all for him.
The players there from Deadeyes actually trying to rotate some of the C4s that are going to be coming out in that rotation there. But Deadeyes, guys, is going to be working perfect as they're able to catch 7Cs by surprise. Now it's only going to be just one player standing from 7Cs. They have gotten some match awards. Look at that, sir. Just being able to lock into people. It doesn't matter who it is. Rod losing another player. They were trying to be sneaky. They were trying to third party that fight. It ended up backfiring for them. And now it's only Saran from 7Cs being alive. And Deadeyes, you best believe they're going to be hunting him down.
Super impressive there by Shifu. Being able to do that. Oh, it's just crazy. Turlov now. The Deadeyes guys are pushing, trying to finish off 7C. It is one more elimination that would give them another full team vibe. In that case, that would be huge for them. Also, Desha in the distance, kind of disengaged from that fight. Sarang trying to move around, really hunting him. And there's this point here, Turlov leading the charge.
See all the players right there. Sarang trying to save at least some points, trying to see if he can maybe go for some other type of match war, which is going to be really hard because he's going to be cornered right now. You can see him pushing one of the players from Deadeyes. He's going to be able to knock one. Can he reload in time to knock some of the other ones? He's able to knock another one. Can he get the third one? He might be possible to clutch up the 1v3, and he is able to clutch up the 1v3. 7C Sarang adding that to the highlight clip.
I cannot believe he managed to clutch a 1 versus 3 situation like that. And remember, they got another team wipe, so they have 2 already. That is huge for 7C. And also managing to get the first one here. Bigatron replay for that case. Nice push and bait there for Genfos. Great play from him. Now we have Damonkia on screen with the Alpha 7 in the distance now. AR8 is pushing Rat, and Rat Desha here is going to be taken down in 10th place. And that is R8 putting a team elimination on their board. But only 1 elim point for them. Bigatron now here with the somewhat standoff. First to G, Silas there, you can see him silently jumping in the distance, trying to get back to Hamsi.
Bigatron continuing to change the roster. You can see actually Lux is not there. This is going to be huge for Vampire Esports if they do end up losing a player this early on. Luckily for him, he was able to find a rock and just
Why did they go for that? Is it because they saw the fight with this G and Bigatron, I assume, and they wanted to third party it? Bigatron was just 4 guys strong, so it kind of turned around for them. They have to use some smokes. In this case, is stoned out in the water.
This could be really bad for Vampire Esports. They have already actually lost
Sarang?
one player. Are they going to end up losing another player? Sarang does end up getting eliminated, but keep in mind, you said it earlier, 7Cs that end up eliminating at least 2 teams. Can anybody else catch up to them? If not, it will be another 5K for 17s, and I mean, that's not bad at all. 10K for being eliminated so early on. I would be happy with that. And talking about it, Vampire Esports does end up getting one of the players knocked. Bigatron currently trying to figure out how they're going to make the push here for Vampire Esports. There's only 2 Vampire Esports players alive. And if Vampire Esports got eliminated right now, that would be huge for the standings, Avenger.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see how far they can take this one.
Well, we're seeing this fight, actually. One of the players from Alpha 7 just got knocked, and I think he's going to end up getting eliminated by Damwon Kia.
Yeah, that's not what we want to see. Information is coming out from Shreps' high ground position here, but the case of Bigatron potentially trying to push. And you see Misery here. Well, 1 helmet, 2 vest is pushing aggressively on Shreps' location. Now we see Sarang with that 1 versus 3 again, super well executed. Even with a DPS and Saiga push, Deadeye's guys could simply not withstand the power of Sarang and his well-timed movements there. Now back to Misery. What can he get out of this push? Can he maybe surprise Shreps in this situation? The rest of the Bigatron guys also pushing in. Liquid, Genfos coming into this location. Sox in the back. Scar in hand, UMP, and MP5. So somewhat short-range shots are coming in now. 36 for Shreps. He found them now. He knows he has to disengage from that location.
And I think Bigatron is going to get caught by surprise with that damage that the Vampire Esports player was able to cause. Slow down a little bit, and they need to be careful because Fluke might be able to get an angle here on them. Does have a 3-time on that M4, and we know how deadly the M4 can be. He's going to aim down. Can't knock anybody. He took too long to cause any type of damage, and I think that might have been the best choice. That way he can try to make it to his other teammate. I was going to say...
A lot of support for R8, you could hear in the stadium. It's crazy. Once they get some of those knocks and eliminations there, you can definitely hear the crowd going crazy for them and clapping.
Yeah, I was going to mention with the 7C Esports, I know they've been already eliminated. I wish this is why they would be a little bit more aggressive. We have seen at least 2 of their players being able to clutch up big plays. I wish they were just a little bit more aggressive, as we do see a fight here between Star Wars Esports and R8. R8 going to have the big ground advantage. They are going to have 2 players knocked from Star Wars Esports. We've seen what Pika and Top can do. Action coming in, being able to cause some damage. Can Pika get the angle? He's not able to. He's going to be able to get a knock. And guess what? Bigatron is trying to third party all of this, and they are going to end up third partying all of that.
I cannot believe it.
Bigatron, 6 eliminations. They eliminate R8, and on top of that, they eliminate Star Wars Esports. That is going to be huge for Bigatron, trying to get the most teams eliminated.
Yeah, that is crazy. I did not expect and see that happening in that case for sure. Now, Alpha 7 has not spotted Fluke. Vampire Esports, 2 players left. Shreps and Fluke here is completely disengaged from each other. Fluke might as well just try to sneak in behind Alpha 7 and could surprise them, especially now that he knows it's them. If he can damage them, then it would be good, but they are right now fighting head-to-head. Alpha 7, 12 points ahead. Let's see the replay here with Misery. The guys from Bigatron completely annihilating both Stalwart and R8 in that case. That's insane. All right, so here Fluke, really, really clever place in this case. He's going to sweep the other direction that Alpha 7 does. He might have an idea that it is Alpha 7. They have lost Mafioso, and they're down to 3 players.
They have it. I think Fluke has played that perfectly because now he's going to be able to make his way towards the circle and not have to worry about getting into a fight outside of the zone. You see Enigma Galaxy would know, Lord, if somebody gets close to him, we know the type of nades that he's able to throw. I'm kind of actually looking forward to it. And here we have an airdrop. If I'm not mistaken, that might be the first airdrop. That's going to be a match reward if any of the Enigma Galaxy players are going to be able to collect it. And as I said, that Lord is going to go for it. That's going to be if that was the first airdrop, that's going to be the easiest 1K of his life right there.
For sure. Circle closing in, and let's see the next one. It could go to Al Halaba, and we could see potentially an urban ending, but I'm seeing a high ground ending or close to SGG potentially, or Enigma Galaxy in that case. That would be pretty cool as well. We have some interesting buildings that we saw multiple fights. We're actually going to go northwest in this case, so it's good for Bigatron, which are going to be fighting Alpha 7 eventually with that, and Bigatron actually has that high ground that we see on screen right now, fighting SGG a little bit, poking at each other. Bigatron is definitely going to be holding Alpha 7 out. We see some shots already. Karelia going really low. And now he has to heal. Liquid kind of close already.
Liquid
a sticky
super,
bomb.
super close, actually.
Sticky bomb thrown by Liquid to maybe to try to deny that. See Genfons on the low ground, potentially pushing in there, Seven. What do you think is going to happen here in this case? Is Bigatron going to aggress on them, or is
I think
Alpha7 going to play a little bit more passive in this case?
with the way Bigatron has been playing, I think they are going to be trying to be a little bit more aggressive. They need to be careful, though, because Revo is going to be holding off this angle. It's going to come down to who gets that
So
first
much
knock.
information he gets from that stone and that rock position there. That's really crazy.
Yep, and then on top of that, with this fight, you got to keep an eye out for Vampire Esports, because if for some reason the other two Bigatron players decide to push towards where the fight is going to be with Alpha7, Vampire Esports might actually have a great angle from those buildings to kind of third party and get some easy points for themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
Alpha7 decided to back off, though. They were like, you know what, let's not take this fight. They're currently going to have the upper hand on every way.
They have to move now as well, right? Because Circle is closing. They're going to have to sweep on that northern side, try to get in on that high ground angle that Bigatron is currently holding right now. So I really like that play from them. The question is, are they going to have enough time to do it? And does Bigatron spot them going into that valley that they currently have two players on either side of? So that's really interesting to follow later on. Enigma Galaxy here on screen. They're holding one of the high ground big compounds that we saw, currently inside the circle. Bigatron there in the distance. Shots are coming in. I see Bigatron's players sucks in Misery taking a little bit of damage. And Alpha7 is going to lose one to Genfos. Genfos saw that push coming. It's kind of the only push they could do in that case. And now Carrillo gone down. 7 eliminations already. They defeated 7. That's crazy to see already in this stage of the game. Revo is going to try to hold out a little bit now. Misery on the high ground still.
Yeah, and I think Bigatron is just going to set themselves up now just to gatekeep this. And this is going to be huge for Vampire Esports because they're already in the zone. They're not going to have to worry about rotating anytime soon. And they're going to be hoping that Bigatron is just able to fully flush out Alpha7. Alpha7, I'm surprised they weren't a little bit more careful. I think they were just so focused thinking that, hey, I think Bigatron has already decided to rotate as well. He ended up backfiring. Guess what? S2G getting 2 knocks on Enigma Galaxy. And we've seen what S2G can do as well. They're going to be super aggressive. Here comes the push. Can they get there before both of the revives go in? Are they going to have enough time, Enigma Galaxy, to actually heal up? Great Molotovs right there from Hamsi.
Let's see the push. What's going to happen? Freak trying to deny this push here from S2G. Really good amount of utility used in this case here. Silas trying to silent move around this corner. He's going to be able to Saiga in hand and force swap back to Saiga. Lord trying to defend. Oh, that's a good shot.
Silas.
Pushes Freak now. Oh my God, great push from Silas here. Super well executed by S2G. And that's another elimination for them. Revo sitting in blue. He's going to try to have to survive for as long as possible. Bigatron still holding on. And Bigatron is now the only team with 4 players left alive. This could be the game with this Western shift we just had for them. This could be the first game that they're potentially going to be able to win here at the Afterparty Showdown here at PMWI.
Yeah, they're going to be looking forward to it. You can see this is actually going to benefit a little bit more because now Bigatron is decided to push off from where Alpha7 was. Revo might actually have enough time to just make that rotation into the circle. It comes down to